do it. I have no breath.
Whack! Is there a duck in here?
Thank God I don't breathe.
Spike.
Hi, Buffy.
We all know Buffy the Vampire Slayer is one of the greatest shows ever made. Amazing characters, legendary villains, and some of the best dialogue in television history.
I won't go far, okay? If the apocalypse comes, beat me.
But even a legendary show like Buffy has a few mistakes. And I'm not talking tiny nitpicks either. We're talking about continuity issues, plot holes, and some pretty funny production goofs. At one point, the show literally changes Buffy's birthday. And I want to know when to wish her a happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
So today, we're diving into some of the strangest errors in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, including questions fans still argue about. And before anyone gets angry, this is a lighthearted speculation video, but once you see some of these things, you can never unsee them.
Welcome to Sunnydale.
If you clicked on this video,
what you're after.
na, 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 boom, Buffy bot.
Slayer's a robot. Did everybody else know the Slayer was a robot?
And before we get started, you guys already know I want to hear from you. I'm covering 12 errors I found in the show, but I'm certain there are plenty more. Let me know errors you caught while watching the show. Okay, so let's start with one of the stranger geography problems with the entire show. And there actually are a bunch of geography problems that could be a video in itself. In Season 3's Consequences, Buffy goes to a harbor to find Faith, who's trying to flee the country. And it's not subtle. There are docks, there are boats, it's clearly a working harbor, which is also backed up by several maps shown throughout the series, which means Sunnydale is apparently a coastal town. That's pretty important information, because by the end of the series, when Sunnydale collapses into a giant crater, there's no ocean anywhere, no coastline, no harbor, just land stretching out in every direction. So what happened to Sunnydale's waterfront? Did the Hellmouth swallow the Pacific Ocean, or did the writers just forget?
All those shops gone. The Gap, Starbucks, Toys R Us.
The harbor. Okay, so now we need to talk about what might be the greatest background extra moment in Buffy history. In Never Kill a Boy on the First Date, as Buffy and Owen talk about the previous night's events, behind them is an extra carrying a red purse with a red jacket. She shows up, then disappears. She shows up again and heads up the stairs. Then about 20 seconds later, she's back on the ground floor, and 1 second later, heading up the stairs again. She makes it to the top and then disappears, climbing the stairs again without her purse this time. Then she immediately is downstairs with that same purse again. At this point, she has climbed those stairs so many times, I'm starting to think she's trapped in a Sunnydale time loop. Honestly, she might be the most powerful supernatural entity in the entire show. Maybe the writers should have brought her back later on as some sort of teleporting demon or something. This is actually one of my favorites. It was really fun to watch. And let me know in the comments, did you guys catch this one while watching, or was it pointed out to you at a later time? Okay, so now I want to talk about the size of Sunnydale. Is it a small town or a big city? With an official population of 38,000 people, Sunnydale would seem like a relatively small town. Characters on the show refer to it as such.
Well, not much goes on in a one Starbucks town like Sunnydale.
In the bad part of town. Where's that? About a half a block from the good part of town. We don't have a whole lot of town here.
On the other hand, it has 43 churches, a zoo, a natural history museum, 5 high schools, a small private college, and a large university. It also has 12 cemeteries, a bus and train station, an airport, a hospital, and a military base, amongst many other things. Now, I grew up in a small North Carolina town of about 30,000 people, and I can tell you that we had almost none of that stuff. I actually find the mystery of the city of Sunnydale to be fascinating, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to do a video on it. Anyway, so is it a small town or a large city? My conclusion is it's whatever size the writers need it to be. Let me know your thoughts on the size of Sunnydale below.
Thank God I don't breathe.
It's one of those things they should have left out the show entirely from a logistical perspective. I mean, what is she passing out from if she doesn't breathe?
There was another way.
In Buffy lore, the vampires don't breathe and they don't have a heartbeat, but human actors do. Despite this being established early on in the series, there are several notable examples of vampires breathing and being short of breath. They smoke and have sex despite that being a biological impossibility. And let's not even talk about getting drunk or having bruises on them. I've seen several fan theories try to explain this away, but I personally believe it's just an oversight on Whedon's part. The first evil can be a touchy subject.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
It's incorporeal, it predates humans and demons. It is the personification and source of all evil that can presume the form of anyone that has died. There's just one rule. It can't physically interact with the real world. except I guess before the writers decided to add in that rule. Early in the series, when the first appears, it's able to touch Angel. It also appears to touch Spike in the form of Drusilla in season 7. I was really on the fence with whether or not the first was actually touching people. A few times it seemed that maybe it was, but maybe not physically, i.e. the person couldn't actually feel it. But after rewatching the episodes, Jenny rubs her hands through Angel's hair, and his hair is moving. So yeah, that's actually touching. So again, that's why I say it's a pretty touchy subject. Okay, so we all know that vampires don't have reflections, right? Right. It's established pretty early on in Buffy, but in the episode Something Blue, after Spike proposes to Buffy, the two stand up and embrace, and you can clearly see his reflection in the mirror behind him. Of course, we shouldn't see it. Maybe the continuity coordinator just called in sick that day. Now, we all know Buffy's birthday is January 19th, 1981. She even proves it to us by letting us know she's a Capricorn.
What are you? Capricorn on the cusp of Aquarius, you?
So why do we also have the dates October 24th, 1980 and May 6th, 1979? How do you think a Scorpio or a Taurus Buffy would have been for the show?
Buffy, happy birthday.
Now, this next one is really more of a small nitpick that's always bothered me more than an actual error. But in the episode Life Serial, the trio are messing with Buffy, and time keeps jumping ahead. Tara has always been one of the most caring and cautious people on the show, and I could never understand why she would just continue to leave Buffy while she's in what I imagine is standstill mode. You guys have any explanations for that?
Buffy, where have you been? You missed art class. Missed? Tara, something freaky's going on.
And last but not least, the fighting abilities. Power levels in Buffy also seem to change a lot depending on the scene. Sometimes Buffy defeats several vampires in seconds. Other times, one random vampire suddenly becomes a professional fighter. Angel and Spike also fluctuate between unstoppable combat machines and guys who get knocked across the room, which probably just comes down to what made the scene more dramatic. It's also always been weird to me that Principal Woods, with any amount of training, is able to so easily beat Spike, despite the fact that no matter how much he's trained and prepared, he's still just a regular human. Now, let's be clear. None of these things ruin the show. Buffy is still one of the greatest series ever made, but part of the fun of being a fan is noticing the little weird details that don't quite add up. And Buffy fans are extremely good at two things: loving Buffy and arguing about Buffy. So let me know in the comments, which continuity error moment bothered you most? Which ones did you notice while you were watching along the show? Also, let me know if I failed to mention an error you caught while watching the show. Now that we've discussed fun missteps and quirks on the show, check out this video on screen now about 4 times Buffy was actually dead wrong in her decisions.
Need a hand?
No, thanks. I'm good.
Slayer's a robot. Did everybody else know the Slayer was a robot?